certain it is 2:31 p.m. on this 12th of September 2019. This is the AMATS Technical Advisory Meeting. Just in case you're confused about where you are. Starting on the other side, Mr. Lee. Ms. Cordova. Mr. Van Hoen.
Present.
Ms. Wong for Ms. McNulty. Here. Mr. Miyashiro for Mr. Linnell. Here. Yeah. And Mr. Colhays, who is a new face to the room.
Here.
So just, I guess if we want to do brief introductions for anybody who was here last month, it was Jerry Hansen's last meeting. He had been at the municipality for over 40 years. And Ken Colhays has been announced as the new P&E director and municipal engineer. Do you want to introduce yourself, give a little background?
I'm Kent Colhays. I'm the new P&E director. I've been working for the city about 6 years. I started in private development, spent 3 years down there, and have been supervising the design section and the acting as the acting municipal engineer for the past 3 years. And glad to be here.
Thank you, Kent. And we do have quorum. All right. Craig, would you mind doing the public involvement now?
All AMATS meetings are open to the public. We have a business item, a presentation by staff or a consultant. The committee will then be given a chance to discuss it. After that, the public will be invited to comment, and then after that, the matter will rest with the committee.
You know, it's always a good reminder, as I've actually been watching public meetings recently where that process has not been correctly followed, and I've been very proud of us for and keeping track of the motions. I'm like, wait a minute, you still have the motion on the table. You haven't finalized it. Is that bad? All right. All right, before us is the approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second. All right. Moved by Mr. Van Hove, and I heard Ms. Wong first. Are there any objections? All right, hearing none, the agenda is approved. We do not have any meeting minutes before us today, so we're moving right through our action items. The first item is 5A, the Citizens Advisory Committee appointment.
So the Citizen Advisory Committee consists of a member from each assembly district. We also have a member representing both the Anchorage Chamber of Commerce and the Chugach River Chamber of Commerce. Debbie Hosiander started as the representative for the Chugach River Chamber of Commerce. She is stepping down, and her replacement is thankfully named, has the same first name, makes it easy. So Debbie Rinke is the new person that we have selected for the chamber representative. She is here today if you have any questions for her. But it's a seat that is specifically the Chugach River Chamber of Commerce, and she represents them. I believe she's their executive director. Yeah, so we are asking for your review and recommendation for that appointment, and you have a resume in front of you.
Any questions from the committee? Any questions from any member in the audience? I feel like I should ask you something since you're here. It's like you made the
Yeah,
long
you
trip.
have to. But we do have a lot of things going on in Eagle River right now, so it's kind of exciting.
I guess if you'd like to give a brief introduction of yourself, say how long you've been in the community.
I've been in the community for 22 years, and I've been the executive director for almost 2 years, and on the Chambers board for 20 years. And we're just kind of debriefing and slowing down from Bear Pot. So now all the construction begins in the Eagle River after Bear Paw, so it's pretty crazy out there, but that's a good sign. Things are getting fixed, so
Yeah.
so we're happy.
I was just out there recently
Yeah.
and saw over by Cars, the building that was coming down out there.
Cars, McDonald's, and Red Meyer, and
Yeah.
the highway, and the bridges, and Kiewit's gonna be our next speaker next week at our luncheon, so they're gonna tell us what they're doing out there, so
Got it.
should be interesting.
Well, the Citizens Advisory Committee is a great way, really to stay informed on a lot of the transportation the matter lies with committee. Do I have a motion?
I would move to approve Deborah Rinke and forward to the AMATS Policy Committee, the appointment to the Citizens Advisory Group.
Moved by Mr. Van Hoen, seconded by Dr. Lee. Are there any objections? Okay, hearing none, we are so moved. And let the record show that Mr. Stitchick did join us at 2:36. You know, Matt, you don't have to sign in. We have a record of you on the meeting minutes.
Most of it.
You just were announced officially. All right, the next item is 5B, Freight Advisory Committee appointment.
So our Freight Advisory Committee has, among other positions on it, a representative from the Alaska Trucking Association. And I'm sure everyone knows not only Ace Thompson, but the fact that Ace Thompson just retired recently from the Trucking Association. He served on the Freight Advisory Committee since the committee started. And so he's living a life of leisure at the moment. And his replacement is Bob Shake. Robert Shake is the new executive director. And we have a quick bio here. He's in Fairbanks, I believe. Yeah, he's in Fairbanks today, so wasn't able to make this meeting. I think that his bio there should serve as a clear indicator that he's a good person to fill the committee. The thing about that particular seat is, I think they only have 2 employees of the Trucking Association, so it's the executive director until they stop being executive director. So, but we're asking you to recommend that appointment to the policy committee for approval.
So Craig being the new person, or Stephanie, how do I find his bio?
Look on the Freight Advisory Committee appointment.
Oh, just the link of it.
Yeah.
And then.
Very straightforward. Thank you.
Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, I think right under, in the second paragraph of background, there's a brief bio about.
I found it, thank you.
Yeah. Generally, most of the documents are gonna be on the iPads and not paper generally, so. Are there any questions from the committee on this item? I should have seen this one coming, considering I knew Abe's had retired and Bob was appointed as this replacement. All right, are there any questions from the public at this time? No? All right, hearing none, the matter lies with the committee. Just do it, Doug.
Move to approve and forward to the AMATS Freight Advisory Committee appointment to the AMATS Policy Committee.
A second.
So moved by Mr. Van Hoek, seconded by Mr. Colhase. Are there any objections? Sorry. All right, hearing none, we are so moved. Let the record show that Ms. Kilpoint has joined us as well. But we're already through all of our business items. But we are now on to item 6A, project and plan updates, the 2040 MTP update.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm Vivian Underwood with AMATS. So the Policy Committee reviewed the Technical Advisory Committee recommendations for the project list for the draft 2040 MTP on August 22nd, and they didn't finish their work. So they extended the meeting until September 3rd, and they had a work session also. And they did make some changes to the recommendations that this body made. So you should have a list of the changes made, and they're in number order of the projects. But I thought I would just quickly do some highlights. I'm not going to take much time. But so one thing they did was they did move Project 110, which is the Glen frontage road study from Thunderbird Falls to Nick Bridge to the long term. And they also moved the 36th Avenue interchange from short term to long term. They actually removed Project 115 and did not replace that project with a Seward to Glen Highway implementation project. So instead of that, they added 5 other projects into the short term, different projects. And so there is a 36th Avenue Access Management Project 200, 201, 3rd to 6th Couplet, and 320 Spenard Road Rehab, Minnesota to Northwood, 310 Lake Otis Dowling intersection improvements, and 315 Old Cat Road Rehab. And there were some other changes to project names. And then from the long term, in addition to the ones that moved into the short term, they added from illustrative 209. They moved these out to illustrative. The Glen Highway Intermediate Interchange Ramps, 214 Minnesota Spenard Road intersection improvements, and 215 Minnesota and Tudor Road intersection improvements. And then to the long term, they added in 3 projects from the from illustrative: Tudor Road Access Management Study, Turnagain Street Rehab, and a new Glen Highway tolling study for $500,000. So the program of projects is still fiscally constrained. And since Ms. Rinke is here, I would like to let her know that there are 7 non-motorized projects in the list. And there are several projects in the Eagle River area as well. And the policy committee approved all the project lists now. So we are hair on fire trying to get the public review draft ready for internal review, and then we'll bring it to the committees for their review. And we'll have an agency review draft also before it goes to the public.
So you said everything, with all of these changes that were made, everything is still fiscally constrained, it's all been balanced and.
Yes, I don't remember exactly how, we're still under it though, So.
Okay. Are there any other questions from the committee? Are there any public comments on this item? Thank you, Bridget.
You're welcome. Madam Chair, I should add one thing to the project 116, which is the Midtown Congestion Relief Project. The policy committee did ask that after the environmental work is done and there's a third alternative done,
Yeah.
is when work would begin to purchase right of way and to extend the frontage roads.
Okay. Moving right along. Item 7A is the AMATS freight form.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Members of the committee, John Cecil with AMATS, and every 2 years, AMATS has put on a freight forum, and we missed it last year due to some scheduling constraints, but we're putting one on this year for October 4th from 1 to 4 o'clock on October 4th. It will be held at UAA. And I have a flyer, it's still a draft, it's about 95% complete, so if I can, with your indulgence, if I can pass that out, and so you can have a copy. Still trying to nail down the keynote speaker. I got Mr. Van Hoop tied down for short speaking stint, thank you. And let's see what else can I tell you. So I'm hoping to get good participation and see what happens.
Are there any questions for Mr. Cecil? I'm kind of sad I'm gonna miss it.
I'm sorry?
I said I'm kind of sad I'm going to miss it. It's usually, it's been a good, I've enjoyed it every year I've gone. It's good conversation.
Right.
Yeah. Any committee comments? public comments? Alright. Moving right along. Are there any, I guess, committee comments for the good of the order? Anybody want to say something?
Well, okay, so I'll just go ahead and say it. Yeah, so, we at DOT are currently working on the, next step. Our current schedule is, complete the work in, October and, have it released, late fall. We are also currently working on our, community transportation program, which is our, funding mechanism for other than NHS routes. And, we have an awful lot of input. We haven't had a CTP program update in relatively number of years, so we're looking forward to having that and having, it looks like we currently have about 50 projects that are coming in statewide, so. We don't have a whole lot of money, so that ought to be exciting. We are also working with, statewide, program development to, initiate and develop a new scoring mechanism that we will be implementing for new NHS projects on the implementation of the new STIP. So all the if any projects are added as new projects, they'll go through a scoring mechanism, which we have never used in the past. A lot of changes.
Are all the existing projects considered grandfathered?
Yes.
Okay. Any other committee comments? All right. Are there any public comments? Breaking records here, I'm trying to drag it out as long as possible.
No need to.
I know, I don't need to. I know, really, if there is nothing else for the good of the order, really, I think that we could